just want to double check the sound here. Make sure we're good to get started. Mic check. Okay, I think we're good with sound. If anybody tunes in and can't quite hear me, please just let me know. And if anyone is tuning in from far away, maybe just give us a little shout out here today. Let us know where you're from. Welcome, all of you. Thank you for being here, for tuning in, whether it's now or a little bit later. You'll have access to all these videos. We're going to go ahead and post them on the website. So a big shout out and a big thank you to the Anahata community who's been sponsoring and supporting these videos. We have just a couple left for our full-time schedule, and then we're probably going to cut back just a little bit. So we hope you enjoy. We're happy to see you guys participating and reaching out. If you have any comments or questions at any point, please feel free to get in touch with any one of us and just let us know what's going on, what you need, and see if there's anything we can connect you with that might be of benefit for everyone. So we'll go ahead and get started. Most of you guys out there know I give you a couple different options as far as folding up your towels. I've got this one, just the standard once, twice, and then a little bit wider. I've got this one so that it's just a little bit longer. But it's going to depend on your towel, your fold. You want to have a couple of these around. So if you want to take a minute and go grab some, please feel free. You can double and triple stack them at different times. I do have a couple of my blocks out. I'll probably get into those just a little bit today because I don't have a ton of towels. So if you have blocks at home, or if you need to go grab a couple towels and get those folded up and ready for class, go ahead and feel free. I'm going to just double check and see who's out there, see what we've got going on. Okay, that was my question for the mic setup. Okay, so I did a test before we got started, and it was working fine. Okay. Okay, can anybody tell me if that is any better? Do we have sound? Testing. Oh, you can. Okay, yay. All right. So if anyone else can't hear, please just let me know. It's good to get this stuff ironed out before we get started so we don't do all of class with all the sound off or any big hiccups. I'm gonna take it. Most people are good to go. If you guys just want to chime in or give me a little like or a happy face if you guys are all set. If anyone can't hear me, if you're having any other difficulties, if I'm having technical issues on my end, please chime in, let me know. I thank you for that. Here we go. Okay, so round two. Again, so for those of you out there, so you probably couldn't hear what I was trying to say. I was letting you guys know if you want to go ahead and take a second, if you don't already have your towels ready, maybe go grab some. Again, it's going to vary depending on the length of your towel. I've got one folded up just a little bit shorter at this end, and I've got one a little longer on this side. I do have some of my blocks out. I might show you some ways to make use of those. So if you don't have blocks, definitely make sure that you have a couple extra towels. I just don't have a ton of them. It's just me. So between the ones I have in use and in the laundry, this is all I've got. So go ahead and grab what you need, and then we'll get started here in just a second. For those of you who might be just tuning in or who maybe couldn't hear me when we got started, welcome to class today. Again, I applaud and thank the Anahata community for participating, Anahata Studios for sponsoring these videos. This is probably the last week that we'll have quite as many. So if you have any comments or questions at all at any time, please feel free to reach out to any of us so that we can connect you with whatever it is that you might need. If you're joining in from another part of the planet, please feel free to leave us a little message. Tell us hi and where you're tuning in from, maybe what brought you here today. I do have a couple crystal bowls sitting in front of me, and I'm hoping with the new microphone setup that you guys will be able to hear them much more clearly without that reverberation in your speakers. So hopefully we'll get to integrate the sound healing a little bit more than just doing it towards the end. So it'll be nice and relaxing for you. Hopefully you guys are back with whatever props you might need. If you're watching this later, you can always just hit pause and come back. I'm going to just go ahead and give myself a little bit of room here, and then we'll get started lying flat on our backs today. So wherever you find yourself, go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Come to a nice lying position. And then maybe just take a couple nice full deep belly breaths right here. Nice full deep inhale. And then just let it go. You can take a few more breaths like that. Inhaling, really filling and feeling the belly expand. And then just release. And again, maybe a couple more times to your own breath, to your own pace. Inhaling fully, deeply, and then exhaling. With each exhale, begin to allow something on the body to just soften. Start to relax the little muscles around the face. Release any tension in the jaw. And then possibly go ahead and bring your palms, maybe one to the heart and one to the belly. Simply feel the gentle rise and fall. Maybe you can slow yourself down so that you can feel and become aware of the beating of your own heart. Beautiful rhythmic pumping, that gentle flow. Every breath in, every exhale out. Simply allowing the body to feel gently weighted, pressing into the mat and pressing into the floor. From here, simply taking inventory, a scan of the body, noticing if there's any tightness, any clenching or holding somewhere. And pull the next breath into that space. And allow the next exhale to move that tension away. Even areas of chronic injury or pain. Just allow the next inhale to shed some light and some love into that space. As you allow a tiny release with every breath out. With every thought, new tension arises somewhere in the body. So in the beginning, you simply notice the thoughts and allow them to pass by. But now I'm challenging you not to just let go of the thought process, but to encourage the body to release the tension that comes with it. So any point during class that you're struggling, you seem to be stuck in the mind chatter, simply allow yourself to take a nice, full, deep, centering breath in. And allow yourself to release with that exhale out. The hardest part of a restorative practice is being able to do nothing. Getting yourself into that position and then allowing an entirely, completely, full body surrender. So from here, we'll begin to get ourselves set up for our first posture. We'll continue to lie here on our backs, but you might need to take a second to get yourself set up. So some of you will be able to just roll over to the knife edge of the body. Some of you will choose to sit up. Any of those transitions are fine. We're going to go ahead and take one of these towels, and we're going to put it right around in between the small of the back and the upper portion of the back, in between the shoulder blades. You can put it down on the mat if you prefer, and then gently come down, or you can position it and try to hold it where you like. Whenever you get here, you can just make any additional adjustment and get yourself settled in where you might need to be. Before you go too far, make sure you have a couple other either stacks of towels, or if you have these blocks. I also tell people if you have big fat books lying around and you want to grab some, we're going to bring these as close to the glutes as we can get them. And then from here, guys, go ahead and bring your feet to those little pillars that you've got, whether they're towels or blocks, it doesn't matter. And then if you can, maybe press into the feet just a little bit so that you elevate the hips, and see if you can purposefully just tilt the pelvis a second before you set it back down. Make sure that you make the necessary adjustments with whatever's under your back or your shoulders so that you feel comfortable here. We're going to start to move into a gentle chest opener as well as a nice lower back extension here. So from here, essentially, you're just going to be able to surrender the legs, release any of the tension, and then hopefully, by bringing the feet close to the glutes and elevating, we tilt that pelvis just a little bit. So again, the small of the back begins to elongate. And then as far as the arms are concerned, you can bring the arms long alongside the body with the palms facing up. Keeping the palms and the upper arm just as it is, simply bend at the elbow a little bit. You're not going to be able to make it very far. Then maybe waddle a little bit and make sure that the shoulder blades feel flat and like they're down and starting to draw away from the ears. And then see if you can bend at the elbows just a little bit more. From here, with the arms how they are, they start to slide and tuck the shoulders in and back just a little bit so that you start to elongate and open up through the front of the chest. For anybody who's working on a meditation practice or a seated upright practice, this is largely beneficial. This is going to help to elongate the muscles that we've got around the front of the chest, the bottom of the neck, around the clavicles. Most of us have that wonderful rounding and curling because we spend so long on our computers, our phones, or in our car. So here in this position, it's just a nice little counter posture to life in general. And then as you continue to settle in, notice where the mind wants to go. Notice if there's any extra tension struggling to leave the body. And maybe take a nice full deep inhale and exhale. And again, with every exhale out, just allowing a surrender. And right from where you are, taking a nice full deep belly breath in. And exhale out. Feel free to take your time, just beginning to mentally prepare for some movement. Again, just reaching out, checking in with everybody. If anyone's still struggling with the audio, if we're having problems, can someone chime in and just let me know? There's a question about how far from the computer I seem to be able to get, whether you guys can hear me clearly or not. I'd hate to go through all of class and find out you guys can't hear this very well. So if I need to adjust the monitor or the sound again, just give me a heads up here. Otherwise, if you can hear me and you're comfortable, you can go ahead and just tilt yourself to the side and remove the towel or the bolster or block from underneath you. And then you can go ahead and remove anything that was underneath your feet. So you'll still be lying flat on your backs. The legs are bent up toward the sky, feet are flat on the floor, kind of towards the glutes. Maybe make a little adjustment, resettle in, see how the back feels. And then go ahead and walk the feet out a little bit wider. So they're as wide as the mat, maybe even a little bit more so. And we're just going to get set up for a gentle spinal twist. So depending on where you think you might need some extra support for the knees, it could be in between the thighs, maybe some stuff off to the side here. And then when you're ready, you'll just inhale here at center, and then on the exhale, drop the legs over to the right, and then allow yourself to settle in. Maybe you don't have any props underneath you. Maybe you have some under one leg and not the other. So please feel free to make the necessary adjustments here. And then, as always, making the effort to fully arrive, to take a few nice, full, deep inhales and some complete exhales. Again, if we're having any trouble with any of the audio, please let me know so I can make some necessary adjustments. Otherwise, I'm going to continue as if you guys can hear me. Again, I'd hate to make it all the way through class. And again, right from where you are, another nice, full, deep belly breath in and exhale out. And then again, whenever you're ready for movement, waiting till you find that inhale to engage the core, lift the legs back through center, and maybe pause here before you get yourself set up on the other side. Maybe you want to take a little bit of movement before you drop back in. You can consider drawing the knees into the chest, wrapping the arms around and giving yourself a nice tight squeeze. You could gently rock from side to side or up and down on the spine. If you're familiar with Happy Baby, you just want to reach the legs out long and the arms nice and high above the head, bicep in line with the ears, pointing and flexing the toes a couple rounds, maybe rolling out the wrists or the ankles. And then when you're ready, getting yourself set up on the other side, making sure you're flat on your back, shoulders are down and away from the ears, weight is evenly distributed. The legs are bent, the feet close to the glutes, walking the feet out so that they're at least as wide as the mat. Inhaling here at center, and this time finding your exhale and allowing the legs to drop over to the left side. Again, feeling free to use any modifications, any extra support between the ground and your knees. And then taking a couple breaths to allow yourself to settle into that position. Again, simply noticing the thoughts as they bubble to the surface. You're somewhere outside of this space. Simply draw yourself back, noticing the breath, becoming aware of the sensations around the body. Without any criticism, without any judgment, simply observe. Again, guys, if we have any live viewers that are trickling in and out, that are maybe just popping in for a visit or to see what's going on, we welcome you. I also, again, encourage anybody to let me know if we're having any technical issues. And again, feeling free from here to make any necessary adjustments, taking any movement you might like. And then we're going to get ourselves set up for either legs up the wall, or even if you have a couch or a coffee table, anything where you can elevate the legs will do, whether they're straight or a little bit bent is fine. It's better to even have them more bent than not. Sometimes people have the tendency to lock out their knees here. So if you're not close enough to the wall, that can also be an issue. So again, I know we're working with different environments and where you are might not be feasible. So if you want to grab your blocks and build a little platform, sometimes in class we'll put our bolster over our blocks so we can have a little tabletop. Again, a coffee table would work for this. If you have a wall that you can just go ahead and scoot yourself up close to, we're going to go ahead and just move into a legs up the wall. I am going to encourage this one, again, just for the sake of the lower back. We're going to do this with a little bit of a cushion. It doesn't necessarily have to be that high. It can be just your towel folded once, unless you want it doubled over a little bit higher. Maybe I'll just go right here so you guys can see me a little better. Then I'm going to scoot really close to the wall so that I'm right up against it. There's no way that I don't have any room between me and the wall. This is probably one of the easiest ways to get into this posture if you're not familiar with it. Some people just simply like to shimmy themselves up against the wall and that works fine. But if you sit right here, all you have to do is lay back, and now I'm as close to the wall as I could possibly be. All I have to do is elevate my legs and then swing myself over. So now there's not a lot of gap between me and my rear end, and I can just go ahead and begin to settle in here. If this is not comfortable or you don't have a wall, you just have a tabletop, you can bend your knees and just rest your calves either on the couch cushion if you're using the edge of furniture, if you have a chair, if you have a table, whatever that might mean for you. And then if you're a little bit more advanced, you can even start to really bend at the ankles, starting to draw the toes down toward the face. You can even put some weight, an extra towel or a block if you have sandbags. I always make jokes if you're home, you have anything, bags of rice, bags of beans. If you have a strap, you can always feel free to include that if you feel like the legs are falling out to the side at all. My legs typically have a tendency to want to bow open, so really stretching through the back and flexing the feet before I really settle in helps me a lot so that my legs just don't open and fall out to the side. It also helps if I pick up my feet and almost start to pigeon toe them in just a little bit before I set them down, and then when I relax, they go to a normal neutral state. From here, you can inhale the arms up so that the palms are facing and really start to reach the shoulders out of the socket a couple times. And then wait until you find an exhale, and then when you're ready, just allow both arms to open up out toward the side. And then again, make sure that you fully arrive and fully surrender. So we're attempting to let go of all the tension in the body. If you feel like you're struggling to maintain this position, to hold yourself here, just allow something somewhere to relax. So see, when I just sort of settle in and take a breath and let my legs go without muscle, that bend naturally happened for me, and that's okay. I don't want you to have to engage and force your legs to stay in a certain spot. So once you feel like you're there, make sure that you adjust and arrive and let go of the tension and the holding, even if it means that the feet come sliding halfway down the wall. Just find wherever the body wants to be right now. Again, without that expectation of I have to do this or I have to look or feel a certain way. Just get rid of all that and just be here today for a little while in this posture, whatever it looks like. Make sure it feels good, feels right for you. If you need to elevate a little bit and put a little bit more support between you and the floor, just under the lower back, you can also try that as well. And then maybe taking another couple of nice full deep inhales. again, just allowing yourself to be here fully. And again, that nice, full, deep belly breath in. And exhale out. And from here, you won't be going very far. We're just going to go ahead and some of you will stay just as you are and utilize either that edge of the couch, that wall, the table, whatever it is. And some of you are going to actively want to pull yourself away from that prop. We're going to enter into what many of us refer to as a little bit of a figure four stretch. So if you're up against your wall or if you've got your legs draped over the couch or the table, you can just go ahead and bring that left ankle over that right knee. And then some of you will be happy here. You might keep your legs straight. You might start to bend and allow that knee to come closer into the chest. Again, that recommendation for some people, if you're pulling away from the wall, you can even start to slide that leg down so it's really close to the floor. Maybe just the edge of the toes are gripping the bottom foot of the table, the bottom edge of the couch, or the baseboard, so that this knee can come out to the side comfortably. You're not holding tension in this leg, but maybe this leg doesn't want to be too close to the chest. And maybe this leg doesn't want to be that high up anymore. Maybe you're struggling to hold on to it. You want to release the muscle tension. So find that sweet spot for you. It's going to vary a lot depending on where you're open through the hips. If you have tightness in the knees or the ankles, there's a lot of different issues in the body that will change where you come into this posture. So again, please feel free to take the time to find the modification to make it work for you. Maybe the foot comes completely flat on the floor and you just go ahead and slide that ankle up on top of the knee so that it's not sliding closer to the body. Again, find that sweet spot where you're not holding on to the muscle tension to keep yourself locked in. And then again, maybe a couple nice full inhales and exhales to arrive. And as you start to settle in with the body, as you connect with the breath and you make those modifications, please feel free to make any additional adjustments that you need. As you arrive in these postures, as you allow gravity to do the work for you and start to tug and pull and allow the release into certain positions, you might sink deeper and well past your edge quicker than you ever imagined. That holding, that tension is what locks you into your edge, to that spot where you're sure you can't go any further. But the moment you start to release, the body starts to sink sometimes past it. If there's an illness or an injury preventing, that might be a thing. But oftentimes it's the holding of the body and the clenching in the mind, the idea, that mindset that locks us into certain expectations. So as you let go, if you start to slide a little bit deeper than you expected, just simply notice, allow it to happen, take a few deep breaths, and if you get to a place where you think, I can't hold this comfortably for an extended period of time, I'm now not just in a level of discomfort, I think this is pain, I think I need to honor where I'm at. Please feel free to adjust, to modify. If you need to squish any other props underneath anywhere, if you feel like you need extra support, if you're waddling from side to side, I like to take the towels and kind of just tuck them in close to the body to keep my body stable. So anything that you feel you need to do so that you can continue to surrender and just drop into your space. And again, another nice full deep breath in and exhale out. And whenever you're ready for movement, making the necessary adjustments as always, taking any necessary movement in between your transition. And then whenever you feel ready and balanced, getting yourself set up and making the journey over to the other side. Keeping in mind how different one side might be, without forcing it to be the same, simply notice if there's an imbalance. When we notice, instead of trying to force it, we can simply acknowledge and then gradually allow the change to happen. When we try to force things into balance, it doesn't really work, because being forceful doesn't really allow us to be in our center. It doesn't allow us to become balanced. So finding that spot without adjustment or without definition, without any expectation, and again, maybe it's different. Maybe it looks and feels completely different on this side. Just honor that. Allow yourself to settle in. Maybe connect with a couple nice full inhales and exhales. And then again, just allow yourself to fall into that space. Allow yourself to be here fully. Just give yourself permission to let it go, let it be exactly how it is. another downfall to forcing things to be the way that we expect them to be. Then we judge them, and essentially we're not entering into that space with a loving and accepting attitude. So out there with all those body shaming situations, with all of our self-depreciation, when you find those imbalances, remember to send some light and some love and just allow it to be how it is. And again, another nice full deep belly breath in and exhale out. And then allowing yourself, whatever the last position, whether it's stillness or movement, and then we'll go ahead and begin to set ourselves up for our final resting posture. So if you have anything you want to take or do or grab before now and then, now's your chance. Please feel free to make sure that you'll be here set up comfortably. If you need any extra blankets, props, eye pillows, go ahead and grab those. You can take a traditional full layout flat on your back. You can choose to drape your legs over the couch. You can put some towels underneath your knees for some support. Ideally, the spine would be long and flat from tail to top. But if that's not available for you, if you have chronic injury or anything dealing with the neck and the shoulders and you need to modify, please feel free to take care of the neck and the head. If you want to roll up one of your little towels here, instead of placing it under the head so that there's a kink in the back of the neck, maybe wedging it underneath just the back of the neck for a little bit of some support and a little bit of a stretch down by the occipital. And then just doing whatever you need to do, finding that comfortable position, grabbing that last comfort item, and beginning to get yourself settled in. I'll go ahead and give anybody a heads up in case you're still here. We will go ahead and I will just gently finish allowing the bowls to come to a close, and then I will go ahead and end the class. So If anyone needs to comment, please feel free to do so now. If you have any questions about anything, please feel free to reach out anytime after class. You can reach out to any of us personally at Anahata, or you can reach out to the studio. Let us know if you need anything for sure. But again, at the end of Shavasana, I'm going to very quietly just end the video and allow you to slip in or stay in that position. Once everything's over, once you stop hearing the bowls and everything comes to a close, please feel free to stay and rest as long as you like. If you're busy with some other things and you knew how long you gave yourself for class, then just please feel free to bring some gentle movement back to your body. Maybe roll over to the side. Slowly allow yourself to come to an upright position. And then just maybe close your practice with a little bit of gratitude for the fact that you were able to participate today. So from here, we'll go ahead and get started with the final Shavasana and just a little bit more sound healing. So go ahead and make sure that you're comfortable, eyes are closed, the weight is evenly distributed from the left and the right sides. And then again, maybe you want to take a couple more of those full deep inhales and exhales. Maybe you even want to exaggerate them just a little bit more. Inhaling fully deeply, maybe holding at the top of the breath, maybe engaging some tension in the body, and then exhale, let it all go, just give it back. Inhaling fully deeply, maybe tightening, tensing, maybe holding the breath in for a couple counts, and when you can't hold it anymore, just relax. You can engage in a couple more rounds to your own liking, to your own breath cycle, inhaling fully and deeply, and then just letting it go. Wherever you are, beginning to relax and release the little muscles around the face. Begin to allow everything around the cheekbones to soften as you release the tension in the jaw. And then allow the back of the head to soften as you release the tension down through the neck. With the next exhale, relax and release the shoulders. Just allow the arms to hang heavy. Releasing any tightness through the chest. Simply notice the back releasing and gently pressing into the floor. Allow the hips to release as you sink the pelvis. Feel the relaxation begin to rush down through the legs, releasing the thighs and the hamstrings. Let go of any tension around the knees. Any tension around the shins. Relax the calves. Release the ankles. As you allow the tops of the feet to soften one by one, release the toes.